Hi guys, Scotty here with another DBZ Dokkan battle video for you. Today we're going to be looking at the top 10 slot 1 units in the game, the tankiest units, and this list is going to be in no particular order, just my top 10, and it's by no means going to be exhaustive. There may be some units that are just as tanky or just as good, but this is my top 10. So let's jump right into the first one. The first unit we're going to be looking at is the newly released Goku Black / Zamasu tag unit just coming out from the GDC. They are one of the most consistent slot 1 units currently at the moment due to having constant guard as long as you're running Future Saga or Extreme class allies. While they do lack the same dodge gimmick that the Goku and Vegeta unit have, their counterpart, just having the reliability of guard plus 60% damage reduction and high defense scaling makes them excellent in pretty much anything. They are an amazing fit for any villains focus team, which is where you're going to be putting them, and they really just feel more like a set and forget wall to go up against. Perfect for tougher red zone fight and for not having to think too much about tanking. They also bring along a ton of support for their respective categories, a huge amount of damage as well, which is just a bonus at this point, so they really do seem like the unit that can do it all, alongside the fact that switching out to Zamasu can provide damage reduction support to your other units. So really a crazy slot 1 unit that can do it all. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Strength Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta tag unit that came out at the same time as the Goku Black and Zamasu unit. They have about 80% dodge, 70% damage reduction. Looks absolutely broken when you look at it on paper. It's a little bit deceptive, and we'll get into that in a sec now, but by all means, they are an amazing slot 1 unit, absolutely fantastic. Crazy 80% dodge with 70% damage reduction. You have so many tools there to survive. Now, very similar to the Goku Black and Zamasu units, you do need to make sure that you're running either Future Saga allies or Super Class allies, which is pretty easy. You're gonna run this unit on those teams regardless. You should be anyway. I think just the lack of guard is pretty much the only thing I don't super love about this unit. However, the active skill giving them guard is really good as well. The only thing that's a bit of a pity is that it is temporary. If the guard was built in, maybe instead of the dodge or something like that, I think it would be a little bit longer lasting. Don't get me wrong, he's not bad at all. In fact, he's top 2 probably. This game is amazing, but I can just see that 80% dodge, that 70% damage reduction without guard could end up being a problem if he does miss his dodge. With how much of a chance are you actually going to have to miss that dodge? 20%. So not bad. He's probably going to be shining for a long time. We just might struggle eventually against tougher AGL bosses or any defense slowing mechanics because of the lack of that guard. Now, another absolutely amazing slot 1 tank that didn't come out during the GDC, this was an EZA for the 10th anniversary, is Giant Ape Vegeta. He is a beast. He's got 60% damage reduction, he's got guard on him, and one of the best things is he can be run very easily alongside Super Saiyan 4 Goku, so you get that extra damage reduction support as well to truly unlock his tanking potential. You kind of build your core defense around him. He never leaves slot 1 ever for any reason. He will get eviscerated. You just slap him in slot 1, and if you have Super Saiyan 4 Goku on your team, he's going to support him with that extra damage reduction. He needs maybe a couple of dupes usually just to make sure the defense is high, because you do want that defense to be a bit higher. But honestly, he is so great. He still holds up very, very impressively. I know his EZA was recent, but for an older unit that's EZA'd, he is still really, really good, and especially on any Giant Ape Power team, or on the Giant Ape Power team, not like there's multiple. On Giant Ape Power team, he is much needed slot 1, and I love running him. Next, we have one that's near and dear to my heart, and that is Tech Broly. In his base form, he's going to be tanking 90% damage reduction, so not going to be taking any damage, and then once he transforms, he's going to have 76% damage reduction for 3 turns with guard. Now that's the big difference, is he's going to have guard active as a basic skill the entire time, so that 76% damage reduction is going to be more than enough for short form content, and then he drops down to 50% damage reduction with guard, still as long as he's in slot 1. So still a great unit, still great stats. no one's arguing that he's going to be the long form meta king at all. His team has kind of fallen off of that. Shorter events are much better for the Broly team and for this Broly, but you can still bring him to so many things, and he can honestly sometimes just fill the role of a pure tank as long as it's a shorter form and not super hard-hitting content. But he is a fantastic unit, and he's always an asset and not too difficult to throw on a bunch of teams. Next up, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Beast Gohan. This guy will forever be featured as one of the top slot 1 units, and probably one of the longest reigning slot 1s, or just pretty much units ever. He is still around, he's still kicking. I know a lot of people saying he's fallen off, a lot of people saying he's not. When he works, he really works. With his intro up, he can have 80% damage reduction plus guard, and then his active can boost all his defense as well as give full aggro. He takes all the aggro and he takes all the damage. So really insane kit that he has. It does take a little bit of time to get everything up and running, so he needs to either take 8 hits or it needs to be 5 turns in battles to get that extra percent. So in some content that can be a little bit frustrating to get, but it's not the worst thing in the world. He still just does things no other unit does, especially in short form content where you're not going above 8, 9, 10 turns. He is going to be absolutely fine. If you play it right with him, he's going to be completely unkillable. He's not a massive damage powerhouse, but that is not what he's here for. He is here to tank, be unkillable, and sort of keep all your units alive with his active skill. So fantastic unit. Still in 2025, Beast Gohan is around. Now for a very recent one, Goku Black Super Rose EZA that came out, I think it was just yesterday, the AGL one. He's had a massive blow up from his original version. He's so useful now, such a good slot 1 unit. His built-in damage reduction can scale up to 70% with guard after taking hits, so he just needs to take 2 hits, you get 25% damage reduction per hit, and that'll give him his base 20% damage reduction, 50% damage reduction, plus guard. He will be a wall for the rest of the turn. So perfect for early turns or fast aggressive enemies. Could get caught out if it's a very hard hitting super right off the bat, but he's got that guard, and he's got huge multiplicative defense built into his kit, and when he lowers the health a little bit, he's got more defense that's added. So yeah, really just awesome for seeing super bosses. This happening to super bosses, this happening to Future Saga. We needed more slot 1 units to actually tank all of this, so he's been fantastic. He synergizes so well with Future Saga and Extreme setups, and they're gaining a lot of relevance again, so that's always good. It's a great example of how an EZA can push a previously very mid unit to just be relevant and actually help. What they did with them was fantastic. Next we're going to look at the Year 7 fusions. I'm going to include both of them in here, so that would be the Phi Super Saiyan for Goku and Super Saiyan for Vegeta, as well as the God Boys. They are fantastic slot 1 units with their 77% damage reduction. They're quite unique in that they are very quick stackers. I think it massively raises their defense every time they super, and they do a lot of supers. So slot 1, they are pretty much invincible with their 77% damage reduction and quite high starting defense, so they can slot 1 quite easily, unless we're talking about the very recent content that is incredibly difficult. But otherwise, they're going to be fine as slot 1, and when they roll back around after their first turn, they should have nearly about 1 million defense, and you're going to want them to just be stacking defense as much as possible before you pop their respective actives to transform them. And because once they have transformed, they're no longer going to be permanently stacking defense. But you really can get the defense very high very quickly with the 4 or 5 supers that each of them can do, and the massively raising defense. So they're a little bit slower starters, but they are very strong mid to late game as they transform and they become very strong. And then so like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta gets to counter against supers, which is amazing. The God Boys transform and they get to have huge amounts of they've got innate guard, and then they've got huge amounts chance to dodge as long as you are getting rainbow orbs, and they are rainbow orb changes as well, so they're kind of self-sufficient like that. So yeah, they are very, very rewarding to use. Still good slot ones. They don't slot in as seamlessly as newer units just because of that awkward phase between after slot 1 where you really hope that you have enough defense to get through to when they transform, but generally they are fine and they are really, really good. But that is going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this helps you find some slot 1s. And again, this has just been a fun list that my favorite slot 1 unit. There are still tons of other slot 1 units, but these are just I think this ended up being 8. So these are just my top 8, and these units are proving incredibly useful. And yeah, I hope this helped someone, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.